In 2005, the world was introduced to Kazuma Kiryu, a gangster struggling to leave behind a life of brutal crime. Kiryu's tale kicked off the Yakuza series of games, now known as Like a Dragon. The games have featured incredibly detailed renditions of real-world environments and beat-em-up gameplay. In 2020, the series pivoted to turn-based combat and RPG mechanics along with a new protagonist. With the release of the 9th game, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, we thought it was time to really dig into what made the Yakuza series, now known as Like a Dragon, resonate with so many. Welcome to Total Recall. I'm Claire Jackson, staff writer at Kotaku, and I'm joined today by editor-in-chief Jen Glennon.
Hey, hi, thanks for having me.
So Yakuza was initially marketed to the US back in 2005 as sort of like the Japanese GTA. That's kind of not the case. What makes the series so different from GTA?
Well, one, there's not that many vehicles in it. There's a few like car chase things over the years in like Yakuza 1, I want to say. But I think what makes the series really unique is it's kind of like off the wall humor and like assembly of like weird secondary characters. And even though, you know, as a Yakuza, your job is kind of like beating the living out of people, like you're also helping people a lot. You're bringing like a businessman a pack of tissues in a public toilet, or you're helping an old lady get her handbag back. So there's this just kind of like weird tonal shift where it's very high drama, but then alternately just very absurd and very weird and very goofy.
Yeah, the absurdity really sort of caught my attention, starting with Yakuza Like a Dragon. Just seeing the trailers, I was like, what is this? And with the crawfish and
the crawfish, who's a big player in Infinite Wealth too.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole romance arc for the crawfish.
But with such a long series, like what is a good place for people to start with this one?
I mean, I have 3 answers to this. Like, I think if you really want to play Infinite Wealth and you're really captivated by all the Hawaii stuff, then its direct predecessor, which is Yakuza Like a Dragon, the one that came out in 2020. It's also a turn-based RPG. That is a great place to start because Infinite Wealth like picks up right where that left off. If you want kind of like a self-contained, like vertical slice, I guess you could say, of everything that Yakuza is, I think Yakuza Kiwami 2 has all the absurdity, all the set piece battles. Like, it's not too far along in the lore where you feel like, oh, I'm missing out about a decade of relationships and history here. You're pretty early on in Kiryu's story, but it's a little bit more, I think, grippy and grabby than Kiwami 1.
Yeah, I started with Infinite Wealth. And I was surprised at how approachable it was. And I just loved all of these like quirky moments. Like I came across this guy who his waiter for his restaurant didn't show up.
Oh yeah.
And so
yeah, you have to like figure
I ended
out which
up
dishes.
waiting tables and learning like various Hawaiian dishes, and I had to like respond to different customers with different levels of enthusiasm and, you know, suggest certain meals to them. And then there was another one where I just find some boy who's running a lemonade stand because he wants to raise money to buy a tiara for his friend who's going away. And so I'm just like wandering around delivering lemonade, but it is sort of its mini game. Like, what are some of those like quirky moments that like really have stood out to you over the course of these games and you remember quite fondly?
There's literally so many, and I think this is a series that's great about like feeling approachable to newcomers, because I also started at a weird place. I started with 6, but also kind of layering in things for people who've experienced the other games that you can enjoy, but it doesn't ruin the experience if you don't get it. I would say like there's a character called the Obitarian. She's like an older gal. She's usually in Osaka. Like I think she first comes up in Yakuza 0, but she's been in a lot of them since. She's got like kind of curly, short purple hair, and she's always like super horned out for either Majima or Kiryu. You can recruit her for your hostess club in Yakuza 0, and she's secretly like the best one out of all of them, like SS tier, #1 hostess. She's great, and she wears this huge, baggy, like cheetah face sweatshirt that I really, really want for my own personal collection. And I've tweeted about this like literally numerous times, and Sega, just make make the shirt, make the cheetah shirt, make the Obitarian shirt. There's a guy called Patriarch Gondawara. He's like a really like brick house, criminal tough guy, another member of, I want to say it's the Tojo clan, but it's one of the Yakuza families. Him and his buddies are really into kind of like diaper fetish. So they're always like in diapers, and like at one point you have to like bust heads. Like Kiryu will get in a fight with a bunch of big beefy guys all wearing diapers and bonnets, and like they're kind of rolling around on the floor being like gaga goo goo. In Infinite Wealth, this guy is a summon, like a Final Fantasy style summon. It's called Pound Mates in Infinite Wealth, but who you can bring him into a fight at a pivotal moment to unleash some damage in baby form.
If you want to play Yakuza in 2024, you can do so easily with Game Pass, as a majority of the titles have been made available on Xbox's subscription service. The series starts chronologically with Yakuza 0, and you can play the games on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC. That'll do it for us today. Thank you, Jen, for chatting with us about all things Yakuza. I'm Claire Jackson, and this has been Total Recall.